gonna go on live with another social media, and I'm getting that one set up. It usually takes me longer to get this one set up, YouTube, than it does any other ones. But today, it was on the ball. All right. There, we're going live now on that one. All right. Welcome in, everybody. My name is Carol. I am the owner and creator of all things that you find at CarolJo's.com. I do different things here besides sell jewelry. I actually sell jewelry the least out of everything that I do here on social medias. We do chat times, which we have one on both TikTok and YouTube at 8 p.m. Central tonight. We also do bead sales, which we just got over one a little while ago of silicone beads. Tomorrow night, we will be doing just our regular beads. All of my bead sales right now happen on TikTok. If anything were to happen to TikTok, I'll be doing them on Instagram. So follow me on all the different social medias. To do that, over here on TikTok, go to that CGS logo. In my my profile, you will see a line that says Lemonade More. Touch that one. Down below, you'll see one that says Tree. Touch that one, and that will send you to a list. If you scroll that list has all my social medias for you to follow or subscribe to. YouTube, I am working on getting a video put up so that you guys can see where I'm at on all the different social medias and having links in the description of that video. That should be out by the end of the week. Thank you, everybody. Oh, over here. Hi, Rose. Hi, Candy. Thank you for all the likes. And if we can get 10 shares, 10,000 likes, we will be doing giveaways. Our last giveaway that we just did, I did dollar amount off. I don't know if we're going to do that here, if we'll do jewelry or what we'll do, but we're going to do fun stuff. And I am bringing up my backup account so that I can see. The only ones that I will be able to see will be TikTok's comments. I do not have a backup of my YouTube. So, all right. And I had to go grab my phone like a minute ago. All of a sudden, I'm like, I do not have my phone to do two different social medias at the same time. I didn't have my second phone. It was in Buttercup's room, and she's down. So I just ran down, and then ran back up. So I'm a little out of breath. So sorry. Hi, is it Tiziano? Is that how you pronounce that? Hello, welcome in. So what today is the one thing I didn't describe that we do here, and it is a tutorial. I am calling this one, when I have done this one in the past, this is the example that I did in the past here. And this one I used to call the 3-tier bracelet because you have 3 levels to it. I've kind of a little bit changed it up, just a little bit. And this is what the new one is. And I am calling that, I will tell you, is it Harsha? Sorry. I hope I'm pronouncing that. And I'm calling this one the 3-layer illusion bracelet because it has an illusion of 3 layers. The reason why I want to go with the 3-layer look is because right now in today, the spring and summer of 2025, one of the styles is layers. You can do layers of necklaces, you can do layers of bracelets. And so I wanted to bring in an idea of what you can make to have that layered look in your bracelet, but yet this just makes it simple because it's one bracelet. It is, so this one takes me about 20 minutes to make. They're asking how long this takes. Behind me here is, yes, these are my bead organizers. I'm going to show you really quick. They're asking questions. It's got all the beads in there, and they're all in little individual containers. And it's called Bead Storage Solutions is the name of it. So yes. All right. So I have different examples here of this bracelet that I want to show you that we are going to make. I'm going to show you how to make it with one of them. So here is example 1 where red is in the center and the synthetic turquoise beads are on the outside. Yes, I still have my strings because I haven't glued it yet. because I started making these last night and I just haven't had time to glue them yet. This is the second example. Here we have the turquoise, the synthetic turquoise in the center, and I used a very light ember color bead for glass with that one. And I was going more for both of these for different looks. I didn't want them to look the same, and you can tell just changing out one bead and placing it a different way changes the look of the bracelet. But I was also going for like that boho feel, which is one of the other things that is very trendy right now. So that's what I was going for those. The other trend right now is having the colors blue and red together. And so when I made this one, yes, it is more 4th of July, Memorial Day looking, but we've got the red, white, and blue, where the white is in the center. And to me, that white just stands out with the very like popular colors right now are this color of red and blue. So that is some examples of what we're going to do. Now, today for our example, I am going to use the silver plated beads like we did in 2 of the 3, but I'm also going to use yellow and white. So those are the bead colors that we're going to go with for this bracelet that we're going to do together. And then I also will have, I've got to get them out of my tray here. The spacer bead will be the silver plated. Other things that you will need is this one actually, hi Ethan, is going to take, and I will show you, because this one I have a label on. It's like the stretch cord. This one is Stretch Magic brand, but it is 0.5 millimeters. It's a 0.5 millimeter. The reason why you want to go with a smaller millimeter, I'm doing good, how about you today, is because your normal hole on your beads, especially glass beads, is going to be right around that 1 millimeter. You cannot put 2 millimeters through a 1 millimeter hole. So if you use the 1 millimeter size stretch cord, because of how this is made, you go back and forth between the center bead right here. This bead, you're going to go through both strands, goes through it. And because of that, it means that you have to have a hole that's big enough to put that through twice. Hello, Rosie. How are you? And so because of that, you want to make sure whatever strand you're going with can get through it twice. So that's why we will use the 0.5 today. I don't use 0.5 a lot because it doesn't have the strength that the 0.8 or the 1 millimeter strand does. So you don't want to go with some really heavy beads. So if you notice, when I made the one with that synthetic turquoise, my synthetic turquoise is a 6 millimeter size bead rather than like an 8 or 10. And I didn't pair it with another of the natural stones because your natural stones are going to get heavy. I also picked this strand here because when you get into some of the opaque and frosted beads, they tend to be heavier. And if you notice, I didn't gravitate towards glass pearls with this one, which I normally would love to do, but glass pearls are actually a heavier bead. And this bead here is a 10 by 8 millimeter yellow rondelle. And this is going to be on the heavier side, but I am just doing it through the center. I picked this bead to be the center so that the heaviness part is getting 2 strands through it. So you can go with a larger bead or a heavier bead, but it would need to be the one in the center and not on the sides. And I have seen this technique used with this style where you didn't put those in there and you can do lines like this and make them like a line that's twirling. I cannot see that when I'm doing it, so I don't do that. I literally use the same pattern over and over again, where you have the same beads on the outside and one in the center. Okay, you guys can play around with this technique and see what you can come up with. And if you guys come up with something that's really fun and unique, please, when you post it to social media, tag me so I can see it or send it to me in an email. I'm doing good, Rosie. I don't think I ever answered your question. I'm sorry. I'm like blah, blah, blah. All right. So hold on. So other things that you're going to need to have on hand to make this bracelet is I use actually 3 of the bead stoppers for this one. You're going to use 2 on one end, and then when you start to tie it, I grab the 3rd one. So that's why I use 3 bead stoppers and a pair of scissors. And if you want to know exactly how much you're cutting off of your Stretch Magic, oh no, he's breaking. My ruler is breaking. I have a ruler. I am just going to cut that piece of cork off. I have had this ruler for probably 15 years, and the cork is finally coming off the back. But I do the ruler and I measure out. I measure out 18 inches for each piece, and you'll have 2 pieces. So that's what you really need, and a bead mat. That's it. It's not a very tool intensive type bracelet to make. So just to let you know. And the other thing, if you are a gluer of your bracelets, you can use a little dab of hypo cement glue. Not everybody is a gluer, so it's up to you if you want to glue or not. I'm a gluer, so I'm going to glue all my bracelets at the end here, because I told you guys I didn't glue these yet. I have my dangles here still. So that is what you need and what we're going to use for this. I am going to point you guys down so that you guys can see what I'm doing, okay? I'm going to move the glue off my table too. All right. There we go. I'm going to check my backup account to see how far down. Yep, you guys can see. All right. I'm going to move this back a little bit. So first step that I'm going to do is that I am going to, hi, Evergirl, how are you? So there is 18 inches, and we're going to cut that off. We're going to do another 18 inches. Hi, Rainbow. Sorry, I'm trying to see. I saw something pop up. I can't see YouTube very well for comments, but I'll try to comment. All right. When you have stretch cord, you just want to stretch it just a little bit and try, because it's been wrapped around here, it's going to have kinks. Those kinks add to your to the whole length, but when they start stretching out and getting back, it is not going to, you're going to have gaps, and we don't want gaps. So you just stretch it out just a little bit. I'm going to move these 2 beads off to the side. I'm going to move my ruler. I take about 4 or so inches in. Take your bead stopper and just put it on both of them. Doesn't matter which end, just make sure you have about enough that you're going to be able to tie. It may not be 4 inches. I have no idea. Let's see. I actually have 2.5. So just enough that you can tie. And if you notice, I'm going to set this up to where my bracelet is going to go from here to here, because I'm going to work my way up. All right. So thank you, Kathy, for the follow. And then we're going to take some of our beads off of the strand here. I literally just went and grabbed some strands that they were working on. They are working on getting strands ready for me to sell. And so I went down there and I'm like, I want to just grab some. And then we had to sit there and figure out which ones I wanted. And I was like adamant on this yellow because to me, it just screams summer. And then we had a hard time finding a different one to go with it. And I decided when I saw this opaque white or milky white color, I'm like, this is what we're going to put on it. So you're not late. We were perfect timing. We're just getting started. So we're just going to put a little bit there. And then I'm going to take and put my silver beads over here on this side. You can put them wherever you want or in whatever order. If you make this the way that I make it, put your beads on the outside of your work area. Your work area is going to be here. Don't put something up here. It will get in the way. So my only suggestion of what you're setting up, beads on the outside, work area in the center. All right. To start this off, you will take, we're going to take one of the 4mm white. one of the four, oh, sorry, it's not the 4mm white first. It will be the 4mm silver, 4mm white. And then it'll be 4mm silver. Thank you, Lisa, for all the gifts. So that's the first, nothing major there, but that's the first beads. And then on the left side, I will always add the yellow. All right. Now on the right side, we're just going to do the 4mm silver, 4mm white, 4mm silver. And you could even do 3mm. Today is a day that my eyesight isn't the best, so we're going to 4mm. Now, we're going to take our right side string. We are going to go the opposite way that we just put this one on that yellow only. So if you see my yellow here, I'm trying to get to focus. And we are going to put that through the opposite way. I'm going to put this down because I don't want it to get all twisted. When you lift it up, you have the potential to twist it. So that's why I work on the bead mat in the center. And we put through both ways. Your first one's going to go this way, your second one's going to go this way. So when you lay the beads sideways, that's how it ends up going this way. We're going to repeat what we just put on. And if you guys have questions while we're going through this, please ask away so that I can explain it if you're not understanding. This is what they call a right angle weave. So, whoops, I did this wrong again on that side. It's silver, white, silver. And I keep putting the white on first. And you could do white, silver, white if you wanted to. You can do it however, but I was thinking that the white, it would be this way. You can do it in any combination that you want. And you don't even have to have the silver bead in there if you don't want it. I just decided it gives it more of the illusion look. The string is 0.5 millimeter, 0.5. I was being asked what size string for those of you on YouTube. That's why we were saying that. TikTok was asking. And the reason being is that then it will go through that hole of that yellow bead twice if you use the 0.5. If you use bigger, you may not get through it. You're welcome. So once again, turn the yellow bead to its side so that it goes this way. Now we're going to go with the right to the left. And we're going to pull this down and then we're going to pull it tight so that we can see. We now have two, I call them circles, done. And that's what our bracelet colors will look like. And we're going to keep going until you get to the size that you want. So this will be a repetitiveness part here where we can just sit and talk if I can see your comments. It's a time for those of you on TikTok that you can like away and you can share. And that way we can get to a giveaway. And I forgot to start music. Maybe I'll do that here in just a moment. We won't have the same music that we had on for our live just a little bit ago because YouTube does not allow it. I keep finding it's springtime, it's hair shedding time. Sorry, everybody. It's just a personal thing. I don't know how many else of you just like lose lots of hair at certain times of the year. All right. I'm going to turn on Bridgerton music. Oops. There it is. Okay, because I can have that. They haven't like made that, so I couldn't have that. All right, so now we're gonna do on the left side, silver, white, silver. Yes, I do have YouTube. The reason why I do all of these types of lives on both YouTube and TikTok is so that you will have it available to do the replay. And so if you don't remember a step and you have a question, you can go over there and watch it. To get to it so you can subscribe if you are on TikTok is if you go to that CJS logo at the top and then go to the CJS below. That will get you to your profile or my profile. And in my profile, you will see a line that says Lemonade. And then at the end of that line, it says more. You touch that line and down below you will see two boxes. The box that has the word tree in it is the one that you will be able to go and touch that one. That brings up a list of my website and all my different social medias. YouTube on that list is the last one. It's clear at the bottom. Then once again, we're doing silver, white, silver, yellow on the left. And on the right, we are going to do silver, white, and silver. Somehow or another, a whole bunch of my 3mm size beads are in my 4mm size beads. So I keep finding them and having to move them to the right thing, the right container. So now we're going to bring that yellow one sideways so that we can go from the right side to the left side with that string that was on my right. And then you'll see both of them here, the tails, and just pull it down. We have 5 of these on there. We're probably going to go to like a 12 or a 13 maybe. When you use different size beads, just like on any bracelet, it changes the inside diameter of your bracelet. When you make these over and over, you will find with a 6mm bead, if you want it to be 7.5 inches, you will figure out like, oh, this is how many I need. I can't tell you what that is right now, what the number of beads are, because I've never ever sat down and counted it. I make these for the when I've done these, I've done them so that we can bring them to a show, and everybody's wrist sizes are different. So it will fit somebody's wrist. That's what I always say. All right, once again, for number 6, we're gonna hold our yellow going sideways, go through that bead left to right, or right to left. And I swear, it is not this difficult to do it. I woke up today and my eyes just did not want to function very well. There we go. Got it. All right. All right, silver, white, silver. Left side gets a yellow. The right side will get a silver, white, and a silver. Take the left side sideways so that you can take your right side from right to left in that bead. There we go. Finally got it through. Whew. All right, I'm going to hold this up. Okay, that sounds great. Here is what we've got so far for this one. To me, that is like, woohoo, spring is here, bracelet. All right, let's keep going. All right, we got the silver, or white, silver. This is left side, so we're going to put the yellow on. All right, we've got silver, white, silver. And that is the right side. Now take the left yellow bead, turn it sideways so that you can thread this through. This is just a repeat over and over again. If you really wanted this really white, you could do, instead of doing silvers in between, you could just do solid white. You could do smaller than the 4mm to make the silver section part smaller. You can do, instead of doing the silver beads, you could pick a different color. Like if you wanted to have a green in there, you could do a light green or something. You can change up the colors however you want to do it. Oh. All right. I almost grabbed a yellow and I needed a white. Okay, I forgot to put my one yellow on the left side, so let me get that on there. Okay, now we're going to go over. There we go. 2, 4, 6, 8. We have 9 on here now. But remember, even if we measured it, it's not the same size of what it would be on the inside, because this will go in a circle, so it'll be the inside diameter of it. And that's why I use my little cone thing to measure this a lot. There we go. So we did silver, white, silver. Left side gets a yellow. White, or I'm sorry, that's silver. I was grabbing a white, so I said white. And then the silver. All right. We need a few more shares and likes if we're going to do a giveaway during this live. All right. There we go. There's number 10. Silver, white, silver. This is the left side, so we're going to grab another yellow. Right side will be silver, white, silver. How many of the for the pattern? Depends on what length you want it to be. In this one, I am going to either do 12 or 13 for this one. Yeah. But this one also is using a 10 by 8mm size rondelle in the center. If you use a smaller bead, like a 6mm, so like here where I did these, to make this one, which one's longer, I forget. Oh, they're the same size. I made the kits to be different sizes. There's more beads in them. If you notice, they're the same length. They're not the same length, but they have the same amount. But with this one, I did 13. But it fits my wrist, which this one for my wrist is a 6.5 inches. So you're going to want to do a little bit bigger if your wrist is bigger. Yep, it's elastic cord. It's the elastic stretch cord. I'm using Stretch Magic 0.5mm, 0.5 millimeter. So there's that side. You can do this with wire too. I just prefer to do this with elastic. So Cheryl says she's 7.5. I would do then, like with this size of bead, maybe 2 more. So you'd have a total of like 13 or 14 or 14 or 15 there. Probably 14. Silver, white, silver. And then the yellow bead. So okay, turn it sideways. Go through. There. So I'm just going to test it. Yeah, it's going to be bigger than my wrist. So they were going to do that one. I've got 13 of them. Now, I'm going to move the beads off of my bead mat because I get distracted with them on there. And I then get them hooked up in this. So let me get the beads cleared off. My lonely 3mm we found in there goes in there. We'll get rid of these. Okay. I am going to use a bead stopper on one side of this. I don't want it down in there because that'll catch it. There we go. I'm going to turn it sideways. So I'm going to tie a knot with this side and this side. And if you notice, they're on this side, what was my right side. Here with the left, I've got this one. I will have the bead stoppers on them, and I'll tie that one next. Thank you, Lori. So what you do is that you're going to bring these two together. So I'm going to do left over right and put it through the circle at the bottom there. Bring this up together. And you have to make sure that when you're doing this, that you're keeping the circle and not twisting it and putting extra twists in there. Okay? So it just takes a moment to do this. Hold that with your finger so that it kind of stays where it's at. And then the right hand goes over the left hand and through that circle that you made there. And then pull it tight. Now take the beads on each side and hold them and pull it. I will tell you that with stretchy material, you do have to re-stretch after so many years. I have this one here we made over a year ago, and I wear it every so often. I don't wear it every week, but I probably wear it every couple of weeks. And it hasn't like stretched out or anything. It's still in the original one. All right, now I'm going to take off the bead stopper off of these two, but also to not have my strings get in the way, I take one of my bead stoppers and just put it on the two that we just tied so that those two strings stay out of my way. I know that sounds weird, but then I know they're not the ones I need. And I pulled off this last three because I pulled it off and started moving the bracelet around. I have not done that before, so you guys saw something that I don't normally do. All right, there we go. Taking off this side, I'm just going to hold this so that we don't lose the beads again. And we're going to tie this side. This side now I can hold up a little bit better. So this is the one that's closest to me. It's more away from you, but you see how you'll have the two strands. You're going to go left over right and through that center and bring those together. I sell all kinds of beads. And then the right side over the left and bring that through the center. and then bring it together tight. Like that. I'm going to test this one out, and he didn't stay. So we're going to redo him. And that happens every so often where they just don't want to stay. So today, earlier, you guys would have seen me selling silicones. The silicone focals and the solids and beadable items to go with those. Tomorrow, I will have pendants. I will have the natural stones, which includes crystals, semi-precious, gemstones, whatever you want to call them. And then I will have glass beads. I will also have probably some sort of an acrylic bead. I will have findings. I may have some chain tomorrow because I have some chain in. So all kinds of things to make any type of jewelry pretty much. There we go. Hopefully that one will stay now. Yes, that one's staying. Okay, so now I don't sell Swarovskis because you cannot purchase Swarovskis anymore. Well, you can, but you can't purchase them like we used to in the past because Swarovskis are no longer made. Swarovski stopped making beads. You can get different brands that are an imitation of them. Those I will have. I do have some Swarovskis that I do sell because I got an estate sale of beads. And that's what they have Swarovskis in there. So you'll see me have some of them. I'm going to take the glue. I took my lid off and I am just going to take and right in where that knot is. You're just going to put a dab of glue. This step is optional. You do not have to glue if you're not a gluer. They stopped about 2 years ago, I think. I can't remember. The day I heard it, I was like, oh no. Whoops, that's a big dab of glue. There we go. I'm doing all my bracelets that I've made so far today. There. And if you're a gluer, you just put a little dab. If you're not a gluer, you just cut off the ends. And don't glue. There we go. Now, the tricky part is getting this in there. There we go. Yes. Swarovski is the brand name of them. I'm going to point you up. Swarovskis have a 30, like a bicone, or I mean a round. I think it's 32 or 36. I can't remember off the top of my head. You're asking me at a time. But they have that many cuts to them or facets on them, and that gives them the shininess. I don't have my Swarovski bracelet on today, so I can't show you that. There isn't as much the way that they cut the glass, because Swarovski is just a glass, bead. And so it is all about how their cutting is. Yep, how precise. Yep, and they're the ones that are known to have them. So if it's not a Swarovski, it's not going to be as shiny, crisp shiny. I don't know how else to word it, but there are places that are trying to get there. And for what we've got, it's as good as we're going to get right now. Because they decided that Swarovski makes crystals still. They call it crystal. Crystal is glass. Just like there's gemstones are crystals too. Crystals are the formation of molecules together. So they still make like their glass figurines. They make like trophies and that type of thing. So yes, Swarovski still does make stuff. They just don't make the beads. There just wasn't as much money to be made in it, and they changed what they did. We all run businesses, and we all have to make those decisions. So yeah. So, yep, that's the fun. So you also asked what type of glue. It is, I had to go back and look at the question. It is GS Hypo Cement Glue. When I talk about it, I just call it Hypo Cement Glue. So this, and it comes in a little box that's like orange colored. And I do not sell the glue because I can't, I will tell you guys, there are things that I can't buy at a price point that makes it sense for me to purchase it to resell, because it's going to be higher for me to resell it to you. I will always tell you that, and I'll be like, here's where you go. You can go to the Zon. You can go to No More Joann's. I mean, we're getting close. After this live, and when Buttercup gets home, her and I are going to actually try to run to Joann's and see what's there. Our Joann's has not been open very much lately, and so therefore we haven't been able to see. So we're going to go try that. They said they were going to be open today, so we're going to go try that after this. But you got Michael's, Hobby Lobby, and that type of thing, or any of, sometimes, like I had a bead store that I used to work at, they would carry it too. So if you have a local place that will carry it, that's where you can get it. Sorry, I need a drink. So yes, but I use Hypo Cement to glue all of my stretch cord. There's different brands of it. You can get Stretch Magic. I do not sell the 0.5. I only sell the 0.8. So I do not have that. So I actually had to go last night to get some more because mine was almost gone, and I didn't realize that when I scheduled the class. So last night I'm like scattering when I went to make my examples to go get more of the stretch cord. It's expensive, you all. I have to say, holy wow. I know what the price is. I know you guys know that too. But I literally do not go into the bead stores, like to buy beads at any of those places for a very long time. Every once in a while, if they would have a sale where it'd be like 3 strands for $10 or 60 or 70% off, I would go in and buy then. But I have always, for 10 years now, I have bought beads. Even when I was doing shows and things, I always bought my beads from the suppliers or from a wholesaler overseas. So I haven't like actually stepped into a store for a very long time to buy beads. And I was going to say, it's probably been almost 2 years in all honesty. And when I saw, this is $9.99 now. Thank you, Foxy. I went to Michael's. And because we went to check, Ryan was like, let's check Joann's. And I'm like, I don't think they're open. And I said, their beads right now are 70% off. So I thought, okay, I'm going to go. And he's like, let's go see. He's like, you should go shopping for beads. Because I literally do not buy a lot of beads. Okay. And so Hobby Lobby in Sioux Falls is kind of by Michael's, but we weren't going to be going that far west. So for convenience, we went to Michael's, and I'm like, oh. And then I went online to my wholesaler that I buy my cords and stuff from, the wire that I use and the cord. And I'm like, I'm ordering some. So let me know. And this was not a plug for what you guys, but let me know if you guys want me to get you in some of the 0.5. I just put it on its own spool, but I don't label it. It'll come in a bag with a label on it. But let me know. Do you guys want me to get you some 0.5 here before this, on my last order that I'm going to place? Please let me know. Because I'm ordering some for myself. I will tell you that right now. I'm already ordering some for myself. And these beads that I have today for these yellows, yep, so it is. And that's why I wanted it. I don't use it very often. And you can laugh at me all you want, everybody, because I allow that. I actually, before I started doing this design, I threw away all of it because it would deteriorated because I never used it. So I had to go buy some when I started doing these, and then I had used it all. So yes, And now these beads are coming part of my collection. These yellow ones are, and so are the leftover whites. So these beads, both of them here, the white and the yellow that we use to make this bracelet. Oh, I forgot to tell you how to cut these off too. I got on a tangent. I'll get that for you here. So these two beads will be in a future, up for grabs in the future. It won't be probably tomorrow, but we'll have them up because they just checked those in today and I grabbed them. So yeah. So this is the bracelet, but to cut these off, I'm going to not cut them off yet because I got to let them dry a little bit more. When you glue, at least a half an hour before you cut them off. I usually wait overnight. You just come in and right next to that bead but missing your knot, you just cut that off. As close to the knot as possible without cutting the knot. And I use the bead as I use flush cutters to cut it off with, or Buttercup decided that my little scissors that I usually use for this should be a present, and she put that downstairs and I didn't grab them. But you can take the cutters and just cut that off, or you can go in with a very fine pointed scissors and cut it off. These scissors don't work to get a good cut. They're too bulky. And what I mean by bulky is the width of this is too wide. You want a very, very thin. Do you see how these are very, very thin up here? And that's what you can go in with. So it can be scissors or the cutters. Either one works, but just be very thin and you'll get in there really good. Sorry if I'm telling you guys something that you already know. I'm grabbing some containers here. So one of my white containers that's on my wall is actually empty containers for my, for these. I just put them all in there, and then when I need them I can just grab it, and then I can put them in here, and then I can put them where I would organize them at. That's literally, you guys can joke around all you want about me and my organization, but I make everything handy dandy so I don't have to reach around for everything. I do have to stand up to get them because they are on the top shelf. Yes, they're right there, right close. Not that size. I need the smaller one. Here, this size I need. And then I can just grab the different sizes. I used to keep them in different containers by size, and it took up a lot more room. So then I'm like, why am I that much? That's a little overkill. So then I just did them into this, and then I can put them into the yellow glass container and the white glass container. So, hey, if you guys, so I haven't posted my Thankful Thursday yet, talking about organization. Thankful Thursday is going to be, and I can tell you a little bit about it. I'm thankful about getting my shelves up. And I took pictures of the before, during, and after, and I'm going to make a video with those. So it's almost done. The only thing is that one shelf I need to change the height on, and then things that are in my living room and in a different bedroom will be able to go on those shelves. And I think I'll have everything in one little area for the back stock. And the shelf that I need to work on is items that, like boxes that have come in that we haven't sorted through yet. We have 5, well, we opened one today, but we haven't started it. So we really have 6 boxes of beads on back stock that we need to get organized and ready. The ones that are organized and ready for a sale, so I can just grab them and bring them in and do what I do for my spreadsheets and stuff. That one, I probably have about 7 or 8 boxes of stuff for that. And we have lots of boxes coming. I was trying to figure it out. One of mine has not shipped yet, so I don't know how many boxes that one will be. But I know I have over 250 pounds of beads coming. So I'm getting excited that we'll have new beads. But the thing is that I'm excited that we will have some stock here so we can do the lives without raising our prices for a few months. So that's where we're going with. So I was going to say thank you, everybody, for joining in. Patty, you're funny. That's just how much, they're different orders, but that's how many pounds of beads I have coming in. The most I've bought at any one time, I bought 800 pounds at one time. And right now, they just haven't had those. Oh, yes, you're welcome, Peggy. I do 2 tutorials every week. Earlier it was about, the other tutorial was more about booths, but I teach anything you guys want to know about jewelry making, and about running your small business and that type of thing. We have chat times where we go into more detail about it. And so tonight at 8 p.m. is going to be a chat time. And so that's where you guys can bring your questions. You know, we had a lot of discussion about the booths the other day. No, I'll tell you about that in here a second, Mary. I'll tell you why. But when it was about booths and all the different things we did, and you guys were asking questions while we were on it, which is awesome, and I appreciated that. But if you have questions about it after you sat and thought about, well, what about this or what about that, bring those tonight so we can talk about it. Thank you, GY Beard or Bear Dent TikTok. GY Bear Dent TikTok. I finally got it. The reason why shipping is not normally very expensive is because I always choose to do ship. Gala. Oh, okay, Gala. I'm sorry. Gala Bear Dent TikTok. I'm sorry. Thank you for explaining that. But I choose shipping where it's brought over on a ship, and it takes a lot longer to get it that way. You have to plan ahead. But some of my vendors will not charge me shipping if I do it by a ship. And if I do a ship over, like flying it, the difference in the price is like, we're talking, it can be hundreds of dollars. Even if I have to pay for shipping, I can save hundreds of dollars to do it by ship than by air. So that's why I'm talking that I do that, but I have to plan ahead. So when I say I'm ordering something, it's not going to be here normally for a month. Because of the tariffs coming, I am paying a little bit more in shipping. So like, I will tell you guys, I actually spent almost, it was over $100 more in shipping because of, we can't send this last one of my orders via ship to get here before May 1st. They just couldn't guarantee it. And so they, that order, I had to pay over $100 more in shipping just to get it here in time. But the cost of if I didn't do that far outweighed the extra $100. What it will mean is that that item may go up 5 or 10 cents per item because of that. But I'm still trying to keep prices low as possible. So yes, so your method of shipment does take into consideration for that. And you know, and I've always chosen, for a long time, I never chose ship because ship used to be about the same price as if I did FedEx. And I actually had an account set up with FedEx and with UPS to pay my tariffs through. They brought everything into the country. They would pay the tariff. They would bill me, and then I would pay it. And then there was a charge because they paid the tariff on top of it. So there's a little bit more involved in all of these tariffs than what we've been talking about, you know, with what we hear. So let's say if I bought $200 worth of beads right now, I don't know, because I have not turned the TV on because I can't, because it just brings me down. But yesterday, the 125% on tariff was announced. So I'm just going to say $200 on beads times 1.25. That means my tariff is $250 plus my $200 beads. So now my beads are $450. That's what we're going to for a $200 order. But because there was that de minimis or whatever the word is of $800 amount, I was not paying tariffs when that went into effect. So before, I was probably paying like a 20% tariff and went through FedEx or UPS to do that and got them here, charged it, you know, accordingly. This was before we did bead sales. This was when I was my own vendor buying my beads. So that's how we got the beads here. Then slowly, when we went on the ship was going to be either lower shipping or free shipping. They change it back and forth. You don't always get the same deals on shipping. So then I would do that, but I wasn't having to pay tariffs because my orders were always under. I kept all my orders under 800. So like literally, I might place 5 orders in one day, but they're all under $800, just to make sure that we're hitting those marks, so I don't have to pay tariffs. But now, as of May 1st, those $800 amount is going to go away, and then whatever the end amount of tariffs comes in is what we'll pay on tariffs. And it just means that prices will go up. And I hate to say it, but as long as, if I didn't have to pay the tariffs, I would continue to do that. But that's where we're at economically. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm just saying this is what's happening. Because yesterday when I started talking tariffs, somebody started talking about politics, and I don't talk politics here. I just deal with the facts. Positivity and facts. And those are all the facts. I'm not going to say. The one thing I will say, and I will say about politics, is that I was brought up that you are positive about who you have to, how do I say this? You have to respect the person in authority. You may not like them, you may love them, but you do have to respect them. And so I don't usually say a whole lot about my whatever party I belong to as to whoever's in that seat. So that's the one thing I will say is I just want people to be positive and respectful. And if you know me, that is me. I know you guys talk about it, those that watch all the time, about the positivity here, but I had someone today, because of my job situation, I do go to a coach right now about finding a different job, and we were talking, and she's just like, we weren't even talking about anything. She just sat and paused, and she goes, you're one of the most positive people I've ever met. So I just have to say, it's who I am all over the place. So that is what I'll say. So thank you for letting me go on my soapbox. Yep. And that's the one thing that I don't want to do here is I don't want it to turn into a political talk, but we do have to have realistic talks because you can't avoid what is happening. We just don't need to talk about how we feel about it. And that's what we're going to talk about. This is what I'm going to have to bring to the table. And I don't want you guys to be surprised when I say this package of head pins that was $1 or $2 is now $3 to $4. I don't want you to get surprised. And that's why I keep talking about it, is because I want to be truthful to you and let you know. I am trying to bring in as much product in before the tariffs happen so that you guys can be able to do that. So that's what I will say about it. But once we start running low on supplies and I have to order again, then we have to go in and pay the tariffs unless something changes. And that's what I'll say is we never know in today's environment what tomorrow is going to be. And I just sit here and I say, I can control my breathing. I can control my being positive. I can't control the outside world, and that's just the way life is. So that's what I keep telling myself every day with all this world going. It's just a whirlwind going on. So sorry, I'm on a soapbox. But I hope you guys enjoyed learning how to create this one. Like I said, if you are on TikTok and want to watch it again, follow me or subscribe to me on YouTube and you will be able to see this. It will probably be an hour or so. It takes a little bit for them to get out there, but the video will be out on YouTube and you can always rewatch it and find that step that you might be missing. So we've got that. All of my chats and all of my tutorials are out there. Ah, thank you. I like that. And that's the thing. It doesn't cost anything to support people on TikTok. A like, a share, a comment. All of that helps out everything here on TikTok. So I appreciate y'all. You guys, those of you that are new might not know this, but those that have been here for a while will know. I appreciate everybody and everything they do for me. So I'm going to hop off. I'm going to wait for little Miss Buttercup to get off the bus from school, and then her and I are going to go try seeing what is at Joann's right now. And then from there, I will be back at 8 o'clock tonight for chat time. So you all have a great time this afternoon, early evening, and we'll see you back at 8 p.m. Central. Bye.